What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Rail back with another review, man. Yo, this is Yellowstone season 1, episode 4, the review. Every time I watch this show, all my questions get answered. I love it. I learn a little bit more, and it makes like the characters that much more like I understand them. Like it's like pieces of a puzzle coming together, and they're doing it so beautifully. Right? So first off, I gotta start off with my girl Beth. Beth is a goddamn tactician. We done seen her be a beast in the office, right? Cutthroat. We seen her be cutthroat in the office. We seen her be mean, for a lack of a better word, especially to her brother Jamie. And we seen her vulnerability. If you gotta say there's some vulnerability in Beth. If the devil was vulnerable in any in any capacity, we would say that it shows her softer side for her father, who she feels obligated to. Like it's pops over everybody at this point. And we see that she is soft on Rip. Right? She plays that tough girl. I don't think she plays that tough girl. Let me choose my words correctly when it comes to Beth. Beth ain't pretending to be shit. She's a hard woman, but got a soft spot. And her soft spot is probably like, I don't know, like a solid stone or something, like a boulder. Like she's titanium and her soft spot is like a boulder. So if you work at it with a big ass sledgehammer, just pounding away on some John Henry shit, just maybe you could bust it open a little bit. So yeah, her soft spot with Chainsaw Soft is for Rip. Okay, so, and that's the person that because she respects him. I think there's only 2 people so far that Beth has respect for. And I believe that's Pops and Rip. So we getting that. Now, we seen her put the moves on Buddy. What's his name? We see her put the moves on Dan Jenkins, right? Basically John Dutton's op. The one that wanted to run the river and say, hey, this is my land, until he created a whole new river. That's some gangster shit. Making your own river? Like, oh, word? Okay, I'm about to split this bitch. How about that? John Dutton did that. So, okay. So, I thought that she was just down to fuck Dan and to, like, ruin his life. Like, control him by way of her love muscle. Okay, I'm trying not to be so vulgar. Right? So, I that's what I thought. I was like, oh, she finna just play with this man's emotions. Oh no, she sat there, and when she was smoking that square up in the bar, she was at that man's like condominium, apartment building, whatever you want to call it, and he come down like, yo, this is where my wife and my kids live, shorty. Like, what you own? And she's like, I guess we should leave then. But she warned him. She said, I fuck up legacies. I said, oh, so she's on that type of time. And when they was leaving, I just knew they went to go do some fucking. I'm like, here she is, coming to show him just what she made of and control him by way of that, right, with her feminine wilds. No. In this one, she shows that she's a tactician. She takes him to a real-ass cowboy bar, which, by the way, I never want to go to. I see enough of that in clubs when I used to club out here in Chicago. Now, it might go a little bit more left than a little fight, because that fight outside turns into a homicide. But in this age of mine, I'm damn sure ain't trying to go up in there while motherfuckers kept dipping in my beer bucket. So she went in there showing him, I guess, the cowboy lifestyle, the shit that he don't know nothing about, the game that he's entering. She was playing psychological games with Mr. Jenkins. Okay? Breaking him down. Let him get his ass beat up in there. She walked him into an ass whooping. Which, fellas, that should be a fucking prime lesson to you. Know the woman you with. If you out with a woman like a Beth, hey, you shouldn't be. Let me just go ahead and throw that out there. Now that you've seen what a Beth is, if you find yourself with a Beth-like woman, you better have that pole on you. That's all I know. Because look, she done walked this man into a throat jab. and a nasty ass right hook by two different individuals set him up for an ass whooping. And my man's like, look, and he tried his best to man up. God bless him. He was in there trying to show her he ain't no pussy and trying to prove to himself that he ain't no pussy. Which I guess he proved. Because, I don't judge you if you lose a fight. I judge you if you walk away from, not walk away from, fights can be avoidable. And they can, you don't want to fight. But I mean, motherfucker pressing you in your face, at some point you got to stand your ground. So if you ain't willing to stand your ground with the fist, not with weapons, then I'm going to judge you a little bit. You got to take your L's the same way you take your W's, right? I respect it. So I'm not mad at him. But he got his ass whooped on two different occasions within a 10-minute span of them being there. And he quickly come to some eyes like, you know what? Fuck Beth. Fuck this place. I'm out of here. And God bless him for still trying to get some ass. He tried after a throw punch. He was like, okay, how about we just leave? You shouldn't be here. And she's like, what, you think I'm not safe? And the fact that her name holds so much weight, I was like, ooh, that's very telling. When Buddy was like, when she told Buddy, like, yeah, my name is Beth Dutton, he was like, yep, and with that, I'm going to go ahead and exit stage left. I was like, ooh, nobody fucks with the Duttons out there. That name rings out. That's like a mafia. So I was like, okay, that was noteworthy. And that second punch to the face, when I would have been left, I'd have said, fuck you, Beth. I'm out of here. He still said, yo, let's leave. He still wanted that ass. I said, God bless him. But we come to find out that I forgot who she was talking to. Who was she talking to when she was saying what her plan with him was? Oh, Rip. I think she was talking to Rip. She was saying, like, I'm trying to get him emotional. Because emotional men make emotional decisions, right? They don't think logically, and I get him off his square, and that's when I could kill him. I'm like, well played, Beth. You definitely, because look at what she put the man through. She got him all horned up, talking about her sunshine love muscle that she got high is going to be life-altering. So she got him all worked up like he finna get some, right? Even told him to go pop a Viagra, right? We're going to get to work. But ends up taking him to a bar and assisting him in getting his ass kicked. So now he's horny and he's mad. And he got his ass, he's going through a bunch of emotions. He could have easily avoided this by staying at the crib with his kids. But she already pissed him off by showing up to where his kids lay their head. So I said, Beth is a fucking psychological monster, right? She is breaking this man down piece by piece. And I was like, oh, I love what she's doing. So I thought that was terrific. Beth is not what I thought. There's so many more layers to Beth. I can't wait to find out what else exists in that, like, creature that walks around. Now, we also see that the freshly buried bodies have been discovered. And Chief Thomas knows exactly. He knows exactly who the fuck did it. Right? And this also, I gotta salute Kaycee. This is the first episode he ain't caught a body. So he's doing good. He's doing good. He finally ain't killed somebody. But, who he killed is coming back on him. So, all right, we got to deal with that. A scene that I want to talk about that I clearly was wrong on was Kaycee's wife's sister-in-law, which I guess that would make her his sister-in-law also. But the reason she shot herself, I was under the impression that she was depressed. You know what I'm saying? She had them kids. No, her husband was murdered. And she's like, I can't take this, and dips. So I'm not 100% wrong, but the way his wife broke it down, the way Kaycee's wife broke it down, I was like, wow, that was deep. Because she opened up she opened up all the cabinets and saw there was no food. A can of beans in that motherfucker with one thing of foil. Nothing in the cupboards. I'm like, yo, okay. She said this was a sacrifice. Her parents, the deceased parents, are living good in Seattle, but they don't fuck with their daughter at all and wouldn't help her. She knew that the only survival for her kids they couldn't turn down is if she was dead and the kids had no place to go. I said, that's fucking deep. That's deep on so many levels. The fact that there's parents out there who just totally disown their kids and their grandkids, but would probably, if the grandkids had no place to go, would look at them and go, it's not their fault. You know what I'm saying? So let us do our part. Now that their father and mother is dead, I guess we'll step in. I said, that's some cold shit. And the fact that that woman knew that in that moment by looking at her kids and realized, my kid's gonna die. It's either my kids die or I die. So she sacrificed herself so that her kids could live. So in just that one description, you see like the duality in parents. You see the contempt and hate that parents could have to where they wouldn't piss on you if you was on fire, which is her parents. And then you see the parent that is willing to lay down their life so you could go on. I said, wow. Wow. Two extremes. Two extremes in just that. I said, yo, this show is deep. So I thought that was a very powerful episode. And she's like, yeah, so I don't want him to see his cousins leave. So, Kaycee decides this is a good time to go visit Grandpa. And also in that scene, we see his son be so excited. He's like, which Grandpa? And he's like, mine. He's like, oh yeah, I like him. He let me shoot guns and shit. We ride horses. I fuck with that. Your kid always let you know who their favorite is. So that little smirk. And we see that this kid is like a way that, John and Kaycee like bonds. Like, it's bringing them closer because their son now got a taste of that and is enjoying that life out there on the ranch. Brings them, and what do you know? Granddad is all with the shit. But what we learned about John also is that my man got 2 feet of colon cut. He had colon cancer. Had 2 feet of colon cut out of him, or intestines, or whatever, however it rose. 2 feet of intestines cut out. So we see that cowboys also have little sewing circles. And we also see when this man pressed him, like, yo, you good? My son that operated on you said that, and John shut that man down and said, shut your fucking son up too. He didn't quite say it in that way. But John definitely don't want nobody to know that he has any type of weakness. Okay, he's rooted in strength. And it shows his motivation to why he had to hurry up and get Beth in office and allow his son to become the general attorney or whatever. Because when Chief Thomas told him, when you die, your kids I'm going to buy it from your kids. They ain't going to be able to keep up. They ain't going to be able to do shit. Because ain't nobody strong enough to be you and run this shit. So it's over for you. And I'm going to buy it. And I'm going to run this motherfucker how I want to. And that's why John is moving so fast. Because he could go back with the cancer. We don't know. We actually don't know where the cancer, like his cancer status. We don't know if he's in remission, if it's still up in the air about it, if it, if it's going to come back. So he thinks that death is near for him. So he's moving accordingly. So he's trying to fast track everything. So that let me know, like, oh, okay. Now this is why the sense of urgency. Because, if he didn't think he had the potential to die, I don't think he would have jumped out the window so fast to go ahead and appoint Beth and them while Chief Thomas was talking shit. Because as long as John Dutton in charge making moves, I think that's a fair match. But we see that John is setting up for maybe the inevitable. So I see that motivation. And I see why he wants to be with his grandson so much. Grandson want to see the river. Probably got a closer view than he want. That poor kid. Just last episode, he went 1v1 with a fucking rattlesnake and won. Now he's him versus the goddamn river. There's another Kaycee being born. Shorty was in the river, damn near dead. John became Superman, tracked him down the river, by the way. Was able to grab his grandson and keep him from a hypothermia or whatever that was. So I was like, ugh, this is going to be a nasty conversation when they get back. That's all I was thinking. I was like, But at the same time, Kaycee is the same one who was like, did that snake bite you? No? Okay, we're good. So I was like, maybe he might not react so bad. Like, yeah, we all fall in the river from time to time. But it was when they came back, it really wasn't no beef. He just kind of took his son and left. But I learned more about John right there, about his motivations. Now, the real interesting shit this episode, to me personally, is Jason. I feel like Jason was put here for people like me who have no idea how this lifestyle runs, who's never seen it, never rode a horse. It's how you his only purpose is to show us what the brand means and to show the separation from regular workers and branded men and all this shit and shows us where Rip came from. Jason is a fucking bridge. He's a portal. He's just the vessel that allows people like me, ignorant of that lifestyle, to learn. It gives them a reason to explain how all these things come, and I appreciate when they do that. Like, bring me in. Because right now I'm Jason. Don't know how to ride a horse, don't know shit. I got branded, the shit hurt. But you backed off when you seen it. I don't know what that meant. You remember, I didn't know what that meant. When Buddy was about to press him about the shower, saw it on his chest, and then old man flexed that shit, and they all walked away like, oh, well, they got the... I thought they all had brands. Honestly, I didn't know why the fuck they backed off. Now I know. When Jason got the shit beat out, after he saved the cattle, right, he felt like a man, and he did fall off that horse, though. That was embarrassing, but we learned that a cowboy's hat means something. The old man told me, hey, make sure you find your hat, because you'll never live it down. That hat means something. So a cowboy's hat means something. Noted. I was like, okay, the hat means something. That might mean something later on. Okay, hats are important. Copy that. And getting back on that horse and riding, obviously. But we see that the toll it takes on you when you ride a horse. Now we know why cowboys walk like that. Like they balls and shit hurt. Because they balls and shit hurt. Now, I got it now. But he saves the cattle, feels like a man. And Rip, in his own way, was like, saying a good job. The old man told him, like, good job. You brought that cattle back. Now you doing cowboy shit. Good job. And after that, I guess some jealousy was there for the big man, for Carl. I think that was his name. Carl proceeds to beat the shit out of Jason. And like I said, I respect a man that takes his L's. Jason kept getting up. It looked like a scene from the movie Life when Eddie Murphy was fighting Big Boy in prison on the outside. And I'm talking about he was hitting Jason with some jaw-breaking shots. I'm talking about body slammed him, like rib, liver shots, placing his ass. I said, damn, why is he getting his ass whooping like this? It was jealousy. And then when Rip came over and did some type of, I don't know, cattle rustle body slam, I said, damn, that's a hell of a scoop slam. He came in with perfect form. Rip is not to be fucked with. He wasted no time leveling that big motherfucker. You know how big that motherfucker was? Dude was at least 300 pounds. Rip lifted that motherfucker like he was light as feathers. He folded him like a lawn chair. Whoop-pow! And was like, you'll never touch a branded man. I was like, oh, he's a branded man. Okay. Whooped his ass. And then the old man came over with the Indiana Jones whip. Whoop-pow! I said, damn, put a mark on his... I said, yo, he's surgical with that goddamn whip. I didn't think that was real. When Indy was latching on the shit with the lasso and doing all this shit, I said, man, Wonder Woman with her... I was like, that shit ain't... It's real. Them motherfuckers got skills. I said, oh, yeah, I can't tangle with a cowboy. I was like, that's why I draw a line. Them motherfuckers are built from something different. They got skills. They are the equalizers of the fucking... of the cowboy world. Like, that was impressive. That little whip. And he just did it with a little whoop-pow. I was like, what type of accuracy is that? Crazy. But he proceeded to fire him, right? And then this is when we learn. When Rip has that conversation with Jason, we learn what that brand really means. He said, dude, you and the family, all right? You going to see thousands of dudes like Carl come and go. But we stay and die here. I said, oh, got it. I got it. Branded men, we family. Don't nobody fucking touch us on this ranch. We made men. I'm like, oh, this is the mafia. And to go even deeper, right? That we learned that the brand is not earned. It's something to live up to, which is some deep shit. I said, wow. Because apparently Rip had a trouble past. Rip was like, hey, did you ever think that you deserved that brand when you got it? So he educating Rip on it. He like, yeah, you right. And so we see that Jason is on his journey of living up to what that brand means. And he's just now learning what that brand means. And I also know that I don't want to go on no fucking train ride. What the fuck was that about? Now that I need to understand. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why they had to do that to Carl. So we know that a bus ride, I'm assuming. Okay, I don't know. When Rip asked him, he said, look, I was thinking give Carl a bus ride, but I'm thinking the train is probably best. And I'm sitting there like, when I heard it, I said, what the fuck do you care how this nigga get back home? I said, what? And then when John looked at him and said, hey, you run them. Whatever you feel is best. I said, are we really having a deep conversation about how this bum-ass motherfucker's getting home? I was perplexed. I'm like, huh? What? Why do we care? Why is this a thing of discussion? Until the old man was like, yeah, pack your shit, you gone. Give you a ride to the train station. I'm like, okay. I guess we figured out it's going to be a train ride. Then the old man pulls him over to the side of the cliff, dome shots him, and then kicks him down there and shoves his shit. I said, what the fuck? The dark train? What? Why? Why did he do that? He got his ass beat by Rip. Okay? He got whipped in the face by the old man, and he got fired. Why does that constitute death? I said, oh, okay. Yeah, they the mafia for real. I said, this shit, way deeper. I don't know. I don't know. I'm like, is there secrets about the ranch? I don't know. Did they think that Carl would come back and that would haunt them somehow? Or I don't know. I don't know what constitutes that train ride, but now I'm learning Morse code. Okay? We see Kaycee get arrested. Okay? And do I think he's going to stay there? No. I don't know how they're going to prove it was him, even though everybody knows it's him. If there's a fresh dead body, Kaycee had something to do with it. So Chief Thomas is on his ass. Maybe he didn't like going to jail, so this is probably his retribution. This is how he's going to get back at John, by placing one of his favorite sons, maybe his only favorite son left. I don't think Jamie's his favorite, even though he's trying his best. So, I don't know. Chief Thomas got something up his sleeve, but he likes Kaycee. So I think he's going to be perplexed in that. I don't really have a hot take outside of, I think Jenkins is going to do something dumb to try to prove himself to Beth or show that he ain't no bitch. Kaycee, I don't think is going to spend more than a night in jail. And Chief Thomas really finna piss John off. I think John's about to go back on the offensive. And I think we see more of Beth in a political role as she's running for office. I think that's what they're going to stamp down on. But yeah, that was my review of Yellowstone. So with that, protect your health, yourself, your wealth, man. Your boy Rell's out of here. Peace.
Yo, I know I don't need no introduction, but y'all know who it is, man. It's your boy Hollywood Rell. And I appreciate you for sliding through and watching these videos. But you know what I need from you? All right, if you ain't already, I need you to like this and subscribe this, man. We at 1,000 trying to get to 2, all right? Push it for your boy. Get them algorithms up. So when it come to that subscribe button,